Hey everybody, I'm just gonna hop on here really quick to show you guys a little bit about what I expect from this assignment that we've posted for today. If you can see my screen right here, I'm in the 6th grade, 5th period folder, but it looks the same on everybody's. There is a post itself in the digital learning assignments folder that's called Tuesday, April 21st. I know, really creative. And it has all the information here. It's also the same information that's on the actual assignment where you submit it. So either place you can find this info. It breaks down what I expect on each slide, and then it also breaks down like instructions. You have a list of time periods you can choose from. So the introduction says music has always been an outlet through which people cope and process significant times in history, whether it be music performed or composed during a time of crisis, or music reflecting on a time of crisis. There's so much music that comes out of important moments in society. For this project, I want you to find one of those moments and then expand upon it. So you're creating a PowerPoint describing a significant time in history and how you think music impacted that time period. Make sure you read all of the instructions before you begin, like all of them. Otherwise, you're going to email me with questions that I've already answered in the instructions. So please read first, then message. So there are 3 slides in your PowerPoint. Each one has specific things I want you to answer on there. There's a rubric that's attached onto the actual assignment, submission parts where you get to submit it. And you will need to read that before you submit as well. I've given you a list of choices here. So we've got the Black Plague, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, the Cold War, the Vietnam War, or 9/11. Or if you can think of a different time in history that you'd like to focus on instead, you have to message me first and get approval. I'm trying to help you out with that. It's not me being picky. It's just I want to make sure that if you are choosing a time period, there will be enough information for you to use. And if you choose a topic, let's say you start with the Civil War and you're working on it and you're having a hard time finding information, you do not have to let me know. You just go pick a different one, okay? The only reason why you have to message me about your topic is if you're choosing one that's not on the list, okay? Good. Without further ado, I have made a PowerPoint sort of in the style I used to do just to help explain it. I'm going to switch my screen over. You won't see my little picture there anymore. But it's called Sample PowerPoint Layout Explanation. You click right there and it'll pop up. So music in times of crisis assignment. Slide number 1, your first slide. You won't have something like this because this one is what I'm using just to label mine. So your first slide will say the background information. So you need to include the name of the time period event you've chosen off that list or one you've got approved by me first, the country or countries involved or the people groups, a summary of the events using at least 2 sentences. That has to be 2 complete sentences. And then 1 picture from the time period event. You can choose to use more if you want, but at least 1. The second slide is focusing on music in the time that you've chosen. You're choosing one of the 3 options. The first option is a style of music performed or composed during this time. So you tell me what style it is, and if you want to give more information, that would be 100% yes, good. So the second option is an example of a song composed or a popular artist, performer, composer during that time period. Your third option is a song about the time period, not necessarily composed during it. So that would be one that people wrote about looking back in history on it. One of those 3 options. You do not do all of them. Just choose one. Your third slide and final slide will be research on how music impacted people during that time period event and how it affected music in the future. I'm not going to give you an exact example right now of how music could impact music in the future because I don't want to give away an answer. So I'm going to use my favorite food as an analogy here. If you're talking about ice cream and how it impacts later ice cream, well, you could make a case that vanilla ice cream, when they invented it, or the first type of ice cream they invented, led the way for Ben and Jerry to open up their store and their chain and make lots of money later on, and to invent lots of other types of ice cream. So what happened in the past impacted what happens now or happens in the future. So there's your example there. Further instructions, do you have to include questions on the slides? That is up to you. You don't have to include the questions on the slide. You can just put the information. It's up to you. If you want to do a topic that's not included in the instructions as an option, you need to message me on Schoology first. Should you answer in complete sentences? Check the instructions and the rubric for that, okay? Some of them you do have to. Some of them it's your choice. When in doubt, you could always answer everything in a complete sentence, and then you'd be golden. Do you have to design your slide and make it look fancy? You don't have to. It's your choice. As long as you have the information, that's what's really important. And then the last thing here, read the instructions and the rubric before you do the assignment and before you submit. Please make sure you have everything. So I'm going to show you where to submit at the bottom in this teal box here. It says submit your assignment here in all caps. You click on the word here, and then it pulls it up. Here we are. See, all of that information is here again. The only thing that's different is now it has the rubric. So we've got each of the elements that you have to have in there along with the point values. So you can see how you're going to be graded, and you can double check. Use it as a checkbox. Check off each one to make sure you've got it before you submit. And then you'll submit over here. Mine doesn't say I submit, it says submissions, but submit there. And then let me know if you have questions, but please, please read the instructions and the rubric before you message me and ask me questions. Most of the questions I'm sure are already answered there. You do not have to double check with me about changing topics. Like I said, you can, as long as you do it like one off the list, you don't have to double check with me. Don't double check with me to see if something is right or not. Use your brain, and then use the internet, and don't use Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is not reliable. We've gone over that in class before, though. Use a reliable resource. And then when in doubt, ask an adult. You can message me. I might not respond if it's not during my office hour time, because I have other things going on in my household, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if not right then, I'll get back to you in the next time office hours. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and happy researching.